make money from them. But it's something that exists. It's something that not everybody wants to do, but it's something that I think works depending on where you want to go in your career. We have here, you know, this is from my man KL. He says, uh, "What music do you like to work out to when you go to the gym? You have
Um,
a playlist when you work out?"
I don't actually listen to a playlist. I used to, and that was mostly like hard rock and alternative and that sort of thing. But right now, I tend not to because I'm obviously doing calisthenics and that sort of things, which requires a lot of movement, and I don't. I prefer big ear. What would you call them? Headphones rather than earphones, which of course get in the way. So I don't actually listen to music at the moment, but when I do, it's usually like hard rock, alternative, metal, that sort of thing. Especially if I'm going to be deadlifting heavy and squatting heavy, I like that kind of like in your face kind of music to get the heart racing and get you going.
Yeah, I know. When I work out, I used to listen to like more rap and hip hop, But then they had this one song on there. It's like someone. It's like a mix somebody made. It's like it's like Rocky Balboa,
Okay.
And that movie, the Rocky whole series inspired me, especially this quote from Rocky Balboa. It says like it's not no matter how hard you can hit, it's how hard you can take the hits and
Yeah.
keep moving forward. And you took a lot of hits in your life, and you kept moving forward,
Yeah.
and I gotta respect you for that. Um, Here we got here from man KL. Is there someone you pay attention to in the sport of bodybuilding? Do you still follow bodybuilding, or you just focus on your in your sport?
I still follow the people in my division, so Sarah and Natalia, Coelho, and all the big names, obviously, because that's my division. So I do pay attention to my division just to see kind of like how the physique's looking, how the judging's going, if they, going harder or softer, bigger, smaller, that sort of thing. Because obviously, if I ever do decide to compete again, it's good to have a reference point of what the judging is currently looking like and what girls are currently doing well. Like I do love women's physique, and I love the fact that the girls are not as big as bodybuilding, but shredded and really, really shredded, which I love because that it was always the thing. One thing that I could do, I might not be the biggest, but I really like to dial in and get as lean as possible. So I still pay attention to the women in my division in particular.
Yeah. Well, with my content of it, the women now in divisions are starting to get to melt a little bit. Even if you look at physique, the girls are getting bigger.
Yeah.
If you kind of go back to maybe when it first came out with Daylene Bailey and Julie McCarr and those others, yeah, that was the look. Now the girls in figure look more like those women now.
Yeah.
And yeah, and the girls in physique are getting closer. Even Natalia, she's getting big.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, they get
someone
bigger for sure.
yeah, yeah. Someone like Sarah still has that great. I think one thing I remember was someone saying that the reason why Sarah lost to Natalia that year back in 2022 because what she did was she did a mistake that Iris Kyle did a few years ago when she lost her Miss Olympia champion. She dialed herself down, and then
Okay.
the next person came in better condition and won. And Sarah bounced back. And I follow Sarah Vegas. I think I respect what she does, her content, and also what she's doing for bodybuilding, especially for y'all division. She wanted to have the Arnold to have Williams physique back, but I'm not gonna get to that. That's too much about. Yeah, but I love Arnold, but Arnold, but he's not a fan of y'all women and muscle.
Yeah.
Um, here this is from a man, KL. He says, um, "What's your diet like during the week?" So what's the diet like for you?
Um, uh, so I eat a lot of eggs during the day. I'm pretty much kind of like I'm high carb, high protein, moderate to low fats. That's kind of like the way I roll. So a few whole eggs, a lot of egg whites, a little bit of red meat. And when I cut, obviously I cut the red meats and I go vegan, not vegan, vegetarian. Tend to go vegetarian, and that's not something against red meat or anything. It's just I was vegetarian for a few years, and I do now struggle to eat red meat as a result, which is terrible because I used to be the biggest red meat eater, and I still love red meat, and I still push red meat on most of my clients. But for me personally, I find eggs and yogurt and dairy to be my friend, and lots of carbs because carbs make me happy in my heart.
Everybody loves it. Everybody loves carbs. Carbs, you love that sweet taste of a nice piece of bread, or a cake, like that, or or you're over there in England, a biscuit, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can understand that. Me, with me, I'm pre-diabetic. I gotta be careful what I eat, but I still like a little bit sugar, a little sweet. Yeah, it's a lot. Food can be both a weapon and a tool for a bodybuilder. Like
Oh,
when you when you're like off on, do you have a cheat meal, or what's the thing you want? That thing you desire most when you don't have to diet. What is
well, I have regular cheat meals, so I'm not depriving myself of anything. But 100% Cocoa Pops. Like I'm a Cocoa Pops hoard. That is my favorite. Yeah, I did discover Crave recently. I did not know about Crave cereal until we went to our latest trip to America, and I got like packets and packets of Crave. But for me, it's Cocoa Pops and Craves. 100%. I'm a cereal person through and through. So as terrible as it sounds, like you can take most things, but I do love cereal. Oh, and Double Crunch KFC. You know, the extra crispy. You can't find that anywhere else but in the USA. So when we go over, we always get ourselves a nice Double Crunch KFC. But that's about it, really.
Well, right now, Lee, you make me hungry right now because it's gonna be a lunch in another few minutes. But yeah, food, like I said, I mean, I'm telling you, like you go cocoa pop, son. So yeah, I can understand it. It's just sometimes, especially when it's something nice and something sweet and something that just food it's just a feeling for the soul. Like I grew up here in the South. Like we had Easter. Easter just passed. We used to have a big Easter dinner. My mom would cook a couple of cakes, and we have banana pudding. We have I never like eggs, so yeah, double eggs and potato salad and ham and all that. And it's just sometimes it's a good feeling when you eat a nice piece of food. But then healthy eating is good. Like I could never be vegan or vegetarian because I like meat. I couldn't do it. I grew up eating, eating meat most of my life. It's hard to walk away from them. But I have interviewed some ladies who are vegan competitors, and it's a good healthy lifestyle. But I don't know if it's something for me. I don't know. I couldn't do it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, nutritionally, it's actually better to be to eat red meat. And I actually had that discussion the other day with one of my clients, because he was like tossing and turning. He was like, "Is it healthier to be vegan or is it healthier to do keto?" And from my perspective, it's healthier to do keto than to do a vegan diet because you're lacking so many nutrients that you don't necessarily get from your food. But that's a different story altogether, and I respect everyone's decision to be vegan and vegetarian, etc., etc. So, for me, more than anything, food is a tool and something that you need to live, but I don't necessarily live to eat, if that makes sense. Like, I love my food and I love a good cheat meal, but for me, the food that I eat, which is healthy and balanced, gets me through the day. And then on the weekend, I get to splurge with one Cocoa Pop meal every weekend. So, it's enough to sustain me, and I don't need to go kind of crazy during the week.
Yeah, this is from Ikea. It's like this. I haven't had Cocoa Puff cereal since I don't know when. I can't remember. I don't eat cereal much anymore myself because I don't. Milk's not my friend anymore because I gotten older now. And I do. I used to love cornflakes and Frosted Flakes, Tony the Tiger. They were great. It was just nice to taste feeling when you're a little kid. But when you grow up, you just can't eat things like you used to. Now you say you also are a coach and a trainer. How long you been doing that?
So I've been a coach for about 9 years now, so quite a while now. And then nutrition is slightly less because obviously I feel like nutrition is something that you have to really delve into 100%. So I've been doing nutrition for about 5 years.
Yeah, because nutrition, you got to really find the right balance for somebody. You might have, like, I know a lot of ladies who might have gut issues who compete in the sport. And sometimes you got to find the right thing they can eat. Sometimes some people say, like, one thing they may not say, don't eat this type of meat, don't eat this type of food or this or that. I think also serving sometimes, you have to have small servings or, it's just so much to when you try to figure out a diet plan for anybody, especially nutrition. This is from a man, Tony97 says, female bodybuilding is getting more popular. Women like you are a role model for young women who aspire to get big in the future. Who are your role models? Well, like, is anybody outside of bodybuilding that you really are a fan of, especially in fitness?
And I don't actually know. I mean, like obviously in bodybuilding, and Nicole was I was a huge fan of Nicole and Dana and Bailey. Those were two of my all-time favorites. Um, outside of that, I mean, I love the Williams sisters in tennis. I have a huge respect and admiration for those two ladies, Venus and Serena Williams. I think they're super rock stars. I'd probably, probably them because not only do they represent the females, they've been very anti and vocal about protecting women's sports and that sort of thing, which I think is extremely prevalent in this day and age to try to protect women's sport for what it is. Yeah, so I think probably the Williams sisters outside of bodybuilding.
Yeah, because I'm a fan of Serena and both of Venus, especially Serena. She has that bam. I know she's retired now. I used to. That's one thing. She was the one that really got people, especially my people, my community, to get to watch tennis because there wasn't a lot of sisters in that sport. Like Tiger Woods got people watching golf, and yeah, the lifestyle of fitness and working out, it's it's a tough lifestyle. It's like often I know, like with your family, when you started into bodybuilding and other stuff, what was their support? Did they really supported your decision?
I don't have the closest of family, so like my parents will support you from a distance. They don't necessarily get in the way. I think for them, they didn't quite understand bodybuilding as a lot of people who don't compete. From the outside, they're kind of looking in and they're kind of like, well, what is the point of this? You know, but they were supportive in their own way. At the end, when I've been competing for, let's say, 5 years. They actually came to a show and they watched me. So they're supportive in their own way. I mean, they when I said that I wasn't going to compete anymore, they were over the moon excited because they did like, when I got really really lean, it wasn't particularly healthy, but they supported me and they support me in whatever my endeavor is. But they're never kind of like in your face, giving their opinion. They kind of leave me to do whatever and learn from my mistakes, as it were.
Well, that's the thing is family. That's one thing you always want your support from your family. But sometimes you don't have it. You don't have it. I know some ladies who I've talked to say sometimes people don't understand what they get into the sport, and especially you're changing your lifestyle. You're not doing the things like everybody else does. Like, okay, you might want to go to a pub, and you may not be the type of person who want to drink. You have to rest because you have a competition, or you got to go to the gym in the morning. There's so much to this that people don't understand, and more people in the mindset of people outside of sports thinking, okay, I take a popular special pill and I can grow bigger. No, you have to follow a diet. You have to work out. Nutrition is important. There's so much to the sport, especially not just in bodybuilding, but powerlifting, CrossFit, even the sports out, like the mainstream sports, like we talk about tennis. And you have to be in condition and health. You just can't just come in and just, hey, I'm gonna hit a ball and then you think you're gonna stand a chance against Venus Williams or Serena Williams. Even on a bad day, you couldn't beat her. This is from a man Kelly says, he says this, have anyone ever ate plant-based food, not too much a fan? Well, I think I had something one time. It was like supposed to be like some kind of a plant-based chicken nugget, and it's just I could tell. I mean, you could tell the difference. It's just really chewy.
I would probably never eat plant-based replacement meals simply because of the long laundry list of ingredients. I mean, if you look at a beef patty, it's got beef in it and salt. And if you look at a Beyond Beef burger, it's got like, what, 30, 40 ingredients in it in order to make it taste like beef. So from a nutrition and health standpoint, I would never eat something plant-based simply because you can't even pronounce half the ingredients in there, and a lot of them, are turning out to be banned and taken and removed because of the health side effects of them. So yeah, I'm not a fan of meat replacement substitutes.
Now we just eat the real thing because like I said the other day, I cooked some pork chop and and had some mashed potatoes and green beans. That's real food. It's like somebody telling me like I remember I was watching this thing. It was guys in prison and saying like the next best thing is to a woman is another. No, no, there's no next best thing to a woman. A woman is a woman. There's no next best thing. So
Yeah.
there's no next best thing to me. This is from man KL. He is a fan. He says, bodybuilding is very extremely difficult to understand at times. People have to take baby steps to understand it. Yeah, and it's like anything. It's like anything. It's like singing powerlifting. It takes times and steps. And also, I think in tournaments sometimes you can do pretty well financially as a powerlifter compared to a bodybuilder. Because you think about it, that's a sport you put in more money into it, and you're not getting much out of it compared to other sports where if you look at like you're over there in UK, soccer is very popular. There's other sports that really like the mainstream sports, like here in America, like football and baseball and basketball, where you can really make a career of it. But like anything, you are an athlete still,
Yeah.
and you're committed and you're passionate about this sport. What would you, as an athlete, see change in the sports overall in every sport you compete in?
I think, I mean, obviously to grow it would be great. And as you say, like financially, most of the sports that I do tend to have no financial remuneration, which kind of sucks. I tend to choose sports that cost more to enter than you actually make. So if it could get to the point where, bodybuilding and powerlifting actually got the recognition that some of the other sports got, that would be awesome. And obviously, I understand that there's so many elements and factors involved. You can't just pay people more, but if they know not a lot of fans, etc., etc. And especially in women's sports, there isn't a huge fan base, and women don't support other women in a lot of sports. Therefore, the fan base is smaller. So it would be awesome to have more money, especially in the women's divisions. And I completely understand why there isn't. But yeah, if bodybuilding and powerlifting could grow and calisthenics could grow, that would be epic.
Mhm. Yeah, because one thing is that I think everybody doesn't follow these sports as much
Yeah,
compared. It's easy. Like if we were talking about Sarah Vilgus and Natalia Cuejo, most people wouldn't know who they are. But
yeah,
if you say someone like LeBron James, or you mention Derek Jeter, or you mention what's his name, the dude that played for the Cowboys, Dax Prescott, you know, you talk about those guys, people would say, "Hey, I know that instantly." But people like yourself, you're not as known. And like I said, it's not a mainstream sport. I used to
no,
remember bodybuilding used to be on ESPN. Fox Sports used to have it. You used to see on network television, but only time you could see bodybuilders like either on YouTube and also on live streaming, or you go to shows. I went to a show before. It was great to go there and meet people like the only lady I got to meet was Amina Popa. That was just amazing for me. To follow these ladies and to see them in magazines and on the internet, but to see them in person is a totally different subject. Um, this is from my man Tony 97. He says, "Do you have any sponsors? So, are you a sponsored athlete, or you doing everything on your own?"
no, I do everything on my own. I would love to have some sponsors. So if any sponsors want to message me, I would take them on in a heartbeat. But unfortunately, no sponsors at the moment.
Yeah, that's the one thing. Sponsorship does help. It covers the cost of your travel expenses. And one thing is you do have to travel, do shows, the cost of your training, and you have a coach, or you're still coaching yourself.
I coach myself, so
Yeah, and that's especially good. You're coaching yourself because some people have a coach, so they need somebody to throw feedback off of.
yeah,
And there's that's saving expense right there. You don't have to pay for a coach. You know, there's so much to the sport where money does help. Like and sponsorship. That's a good thing. If you can find like a company that will say, hey, she has a great look to her. We like her. Let's reach out to her. But then sometimes Lee, there's that one guy say, hey Lee, I seen your pictures. Yeah, you're a cute little thing, Lee. You know what? If you do something for me, yeah, I'll do something. No, 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 no. We don't want that, folks. You don't want that. We want someone that says, Miss Keyrouz, we have a plan for you. We like your look, we like your style. You're a great athlete. You have a great future in sport. So if we sponsor your next competition, you represent our product. We have a good future. It's a great cooperation between the both of us. That's what a lot of you ladies deserve. You deserve that. But we all know women's sports is always going to get the back. I do consider like a women mixed martial arts MMA, and women in mixed martial arts now is popular.
Yeah.
The WNBA is around for almost 30